So each survival style is named for the missing or at least the compromised core capacity. You know? And so we have, as a child grows up, we have 5 critical stages of development. And in each stage of development, there's a specific core need that corresponds, that's in the focus, in the foreground for the child. These 5 core needs are connection, attunement, trust, autonomy, and then later on the combination of love and sexuality. And so if and when these 5 critical core needs are adequately met by the caregivers, then there will become what we call core capacities. You know? And if those core needs are not adequately met by the caregivers, then the child will have to end up needing to disconnect from and actually reject those core needs in themselves to some degree. So in the very earliest stage of development, where connection is really the predominant core need, if we face environmental failure at that stage, we're going to end up needing to disconnect from and reject our very sense of existence. So that's about as core as it gets. And so when we say we have to reject our existence, that in a way that really relates to our ability to feel connected to ourselves and to connected to others and to the feeling and to the ability to feel like we belong in this world. The next stage is called around the attunement. So that's the core need in the next developmental stage. And if we encounter environmental failure there at that stage, what we'll have to do as children is we'll have to disconnect from and always reject also our own recognition of our own needs. No? And also we have to disconnect from our need to have our needs met. Yeah? So having needs is the thing that we have to disconnect from. In the third stage, with environmental failure, we have to disconnect from our need to trust others, to depend on others. And then with the fourth stage of development, we disconnect from and reject our authentic self, our sense of myself as this separate person, who I am, and the way that we show up and the way that we bring who we really are into the world and into our relationships. That is the core need and the core capacity that we have to disconnect from. And then in the fifth and the last critical developmental stage that we're talking about in ARM, we disconnect from and reject our own open-heartedness, our capacity to live with an open heart. And then obviously as we get older, also from the need and capacity to bring our hearts together with our sexuality.